Give me a C. C. Give me an H. H. Give me a U. U. Give me an M. M. Give me a P. P. What do you get? This bloke. Because this guy knows your ball knowledge. You ain't got no ball knowledge, yeah? Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the James Lawrence Allcott channel. It's that time of the season where it's the end of the season. We get to react to my Premier League predictions from August the 10th. Now, I would say that this is an excuse because this was before the transfer window, and I did another predictions. Do not check that one out. And we will not be reacting to that because really that should have been better because the transfer window was done and dusted by that point. But that one's just as bad. This is going to be fun. Right, before we get into it, if you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. I'm not that guy anymore. I'm this guy. And he's a nice guy that you might want to watch a bit more, and he's got 2 thumbs. So this is how it's going to work. I'm going to start from 20, work my way up. I've got some direct quotes from the video, and I will react to those. Norwich City, I put them down as 20th, and I got that one right. Norwich City fans, celebrate with me. Huh? Yeah! 20th. Jim predicted 20th. Have we got it right? Yes! I said this, and I just can't see them filling the gap in terms of the creativity. Gilmour will get on the ball, but he'll do it from deep. Cantwell is a good player and getting better, but Pukki is not really good enough for the Premier League. I think that's a fact, to be honest. Not a good enough squad, and Teemu Pukki isn't good enough for the Premier League. Ooh, well, 11 goals for Teemu Pukki, which isn't horrific, but look, I think we saw this coming. I think the recruitment needed to be better, and actually, I guess we'll talk about it a little bit later with Brentford. I'm now of the opinion that coming up and playing football, if you've not spent loads of money and got players that are just of the quality of the Premier League that are good to go, I think you're going to find it very, very difficult. And I think there's a blueprint there with Brighton and with Brentford now where you have to be that little bit more direct to survive in the Premier League. And I wonder if Stuart Webber would be willing to switch it up and go for that, because they do bounce up and down. But I was right. The recruitment was poor. But this is probably one of the few ones I'm right. So stick around. 19th place. I might get this so wrong. I might. But I'm going for it. I'm going for it. You don't want me just picking the exact same table that everyone else is doing. Of course you don't. I think Watford's defence will give them a chance. I think Watford's defence will give them a chance. This stinks. I can't. I need it. What was I don't know what world I was living in. What was I thinking? They'd had a good defence. I don't want to show my face for this one. But going into it, they did have a good defence, and I was hoping that might, they might be able to stand firm. It honks so bad. Watford's defence will give them a chance. 77 goals they conceded. 77 goals. I can only apologise. I think I'd done Dream Teams with Ben Foster, and I think I wanted to back him. I also think, cards on the table, I think I'd done all the other teams, and then I needed to put Watford somewhere. So I think I might have just gone, I'm just going to leave them there because there's always a surprise. It stinks. 6 places off. They finished second bottom. They were absolutely awful. Just terrible call from me. I did get this next one right, though. I am good at picking relegated teams. Give me that. I've got experience of it. Maybe that's the reason why. Burnley, their squad has no depth at all, and I thought they might just fall away. Their squad has no depth at all. And I was proven right with that one. I think, go and watch the phone-in where we talked to Connor, who's a Burnley fan, who's got a Burnley channel. This has been coming with Burnley, and I guess when you're flirting and you're down there and it's about being honest and solid and having spirit, that will get you quite far. But if that runs dry a little bit, then you're going to be in trouble. And that's why I thought they would go down. And I was right, although I'm not going to get too smug because of that Watford shout. Leeds United. I had them down as 10th. I think it'll be more of the same. I think we know how they're going to play. I think they will be more refined, and I think they would just be fine. I think it will be more of the same. I think they'll be more refined. Why? How am I doing this? How am I doing this for a living? It's just phenomenal. That said, I think that Leeds could have been in that mid-table area if they hadn't had the injuries that they'd had. I think 10th was punchy and in hindsight a little bit ridiculous, but I don't think that was as minging, considering that's 7 places off and Watford shout was 6 places off. It's not too bad, I don't think. I think without the injuries, it could have been very, very different for them. Everton finished 16th. I said they were going to finish 9th. 7 wrong on that one as well. I said Rafa... Unbelievable. Rafa Benitez will be able to shut out the noise. Benitez can work within a budget. I think they'll be defensively a lot more solid. Incorrect. Rafa Benitez will be able to shut out the noise. He will be able to shut out the noise. I don't know what to say now. Rafa Benitez. Look, guy had a good CV. Come on. Guy had a really good CV going into this. What we have learnt there is that it does still matter kind of where you've come from. And also, I think we now know just how poor that Everton squad has been and how much it's deteriorated over the last few years. But yeah, minging shout from me. Want to see inside my DMs? Well, you can, because it's a great segue into today's sponsor, Surfshark. Now, Matt Murphy, yeah, that's right, Matt Murphy, I'm going to shout you out, my friend, sent me this message. I was posting up the fantastic content of ESPN that I do weekly, but it wasn't available in the US, as Matt Murphy said. But with Surfshark, I was able to set him straight and go, get yourself on it, using my code. So Surfshark provides the best VPN in the business. What is a VPN, I hear you ask? Well, a VPN is a virtual private network. It encrypts all the data between the internet and your device to make sure that you are safe and sound on the internet. So one, Surfshark keeps those pesky cyber criminals at bay. Secondly, and this is important for you, Matt, if you've got a Surfshark VPN, you can change your location. There are 3,200 servers in 65 countries, and so you can watch me on ESPN even if you're in America. And it works the other way around. If you're on holiday yourself, although you live in the UK, simply change your location to the UK and you can watch Match of the Day or whatever you might want to watch. All those big sporting events that you can't see because you're in a different country. On a personal note, I'm binge watching a lot of stuff right now because I'm holding a child in the middle of the night. And so when I need to do that, if I can go to Japan or Korea or the US for their Netflix, there's new things that I can watch and enjoy whilst holding a crying baby. In terms of safety and security online, masking your IP address is integral to your safety online. A VPN makes sure that your city, country, and data history is not seen or captured online. And Surfshark's Clean Web feature blocks ads and protects you from tracking, malware, and phishing attempts, allowing you to surf the web safely. My favorite thing, though, by far, is the fact that you can have Surfshark's VPN on unlimited devices. That is awesome. You know, when you got it on 1 or 2 things, but then you try and put it on a third and it's not having it, not with Surfshark. So if you don't have a VPN, please do consider clicking the link in the description and utilizing my promo code, which is Allcott. It gives you 83% off and an extra 3 months for free. Do you know how difficult that is to say? Really difficult. So give it a click and give it a look and get involved with Surfshark. Another stinker with Southampton. The amount of goals they shipped last season and the transfer business that they've done, I'm not impressed. Injuries and depth. Yep, I thought they would be in that bottom 3. I think that might have been the driving force with the horrific Watford shout, was the fact that I just felt like Norwich, I wasn't impressed by the transfer business. And this is the learning for me going into next season's predictions. Remind me of this, guys. We've got to be wary of the squad that's there more so than the players that have come in, because I think that's where we all get a little bit too romantic with it and go, these players are going to make these huge changes, and often they don't actually do that. But Southampton proved me wrong again, stayed in the division, can't ask for much more than that. Aston Villa, I think we all thought Aston Villa would do so much more this season, and I don't feel bad about the shout because the personnel that are there and the players that they brought in, kind of on the same line as the Southampton shout, I mean, is why I put them down as being 8th. I thought Dean Smith, and I do think he is a decent manager. They've really got a good back line. I mean, they do now. They brought in well to replace the goals and assists from Grealish. There's no reason why Villa can't finish 5th. There's no reason why Villa can't finish 5th. Brentford, this wasn't as bad. I said that Brentford would stay up. They're so well run, I thought they would find a way. The way they did it wasn't the way that I thought that they would. But I said they've got a high ceiling and got players that can play good football. I actually got that completely wrong, because they started to play better football once Eriksen came through the door. But for a long part of the season, it was XG football. And actually, in a lot of their games, they had a higher XG than the opposition without really playing exciting, great football. And they were starting to get found out a little bit. They're going to need additions of quality, I think, to not have a difficult time next season. But never doubt Brentford. They always seem to find a way. Crystal Palace, I think, massively over-delivered. I think everyone's a little bit worried about them and could have gone, yeah, no, you got to be careful with the inexperience. And I said it myself, there's a lot of inexperienced players there. I put them down as 15th. I think that was a safe bet at the time because I knew there were decent players in Anderson and Gay coming through. These guys could get relegated. They could have an amazing season and finish, I don't know, maybe 12th, right? But for them to do what they did was pretty impressive. And actually, I wondered if they would be able to score the goals. And Mateta's been quite the find, hasn't he? So they have definitely impressed me. And I think that's a good barometer for how pleased Palace fans should be this season. Because to finish 12th, when I think the world thought you'd finish 15th, shows that Crystal Palace and that big switch that they made has been an impressive one. Newcastle United, 17th. In my second final predictions after the transfer window, I had them going down, I think. But they finished 11th. They do this, don't they? And I mean, look, those are the Mike Ashley years. We move on now. You've got the new guys in, and that is an incredible accomplishment from where they were. What did I say about them? There's 2 players away. They're 2 players away from a crisis. They're not a good squad. Is Joe Willock going to keep you up? Question mark. No, he's not. And I was right about that. I was right. There might be a takeover. They could throw money at it. Come on. And it might be fine. Okay. Give me that. You can give me that. Wolves finished in 10th, which actually I think they'll be a little bit disappointed with after where they were earlier in the season, but got pipped right at the end by Brighton and Leicester. I said that Raul Jimenez not scoring as many goals as he was before the injury. I think I was obviously correct in that. Raul Jimenez, I guess that the big question is, can he score the same amount of goals as previously? I'm not sure, and that's why I don't think they'll get anywhere near the top 10. Not sure about Wolves. It's one of those where you've got to be careful when the sort of way that you finish a season, because that can kind of just sort of bleed into the next year. That said, there is quality there. I just think he needs some help, Raul Jimenez, and maybe it's that season where he comes back, does have that little bit of a struggle, still top scorer, but Wolves themselves really, really struggled for goals. And maybe next year he could be back to his best, but not the worst shout, although I was 4 spots off. I said they'd finish 14th, they actually finished 12th. Brighton. Top 10 finish, absolutely fantastic stuff for them. I had them down as 12th. I said they need to go out and spend that Ben White money. And I think they will do that. Brighton don't need to listen to me. Incredibly well-run club. And they'll spend it when they're bloody ready. And they'll spend it in the way that they want. And they'll get bloody good value for it, all right? Jim, from the past. Leicester City, overall disappointing. But again, maybe the switch of Wolves, really. Like the opposite, where they've kind of ended quite hopefully. So next season could be a year where they push on whilst they've got everyone fit. I did say losing Fofana was huge. It was huge. It really, really hurt them. But I still think they have lovely depth. I mean, they kind of did, but the injury crisis was so bad that, I mean, I guess the fact that they finished 8th at the end of it all probably says quite a lot. You know, the Dewsbury Hall coming through, Thomas, a lot of youngsters there as well as the established players for the team kind of helping out. I said that Daka would give Vardy a bit of a break. He did do that, but also Vardy had his problems with injuries and bits and pieces as well. There is the phasing out of that, and I guess that's going to be the buffer because he's so clutch, Vardy, that moving forward, it'd be interesting to see where people predict Leicester City next season. I don't think anyone will go near them finishing in the top 5 or 6 next season, but depending on who they're able to hang on to, they could do that. I had West Ham down in 11th. They finished 7th. Did brilliant, really, really. My concerns, I think, were valid. The concerns over Antonio in terms of his fitness, not his quality, but his fitness. I mean, he was fit, and actually the goals did dry up a little bit, but he offers so much more to the team that it still really, really helped them as well. I think there was concerns over other striking options as well. There weren't really many striking options for them. And then finally, the European football. I thought that would hurt them, but the Durable Team of the Season award goes to West Ham. Ripple of applause, please. Wherever you are watching us now, just a little one from West Ham. Well done. You win the Durability Award because they did hang in there. Finishing 7th, European Conference League could be another lovely little adventure for them, which I think they can be excited about. And overall, a really strong season for West Ham. Manchester United. Shall we? Finished 6th. I had them down as 3rd. I said this. They can win the title. And again, another team can win the title here. They can win the title, this next team. Manchester United. going to be sick. Maguire and Varane is amazing. Sancho, unbelievable. I think they will drop points in the first 8 game weeks, and I think that's going to hurt them. I got that right. I did get that right. They don't have the manager at this moment in time. They didn't have a manager throughout. So, do you know what I mean? I got some bits of it right. They don't have the right manager at this moment in time. You know? And then they won't have the right manager after him. And then the manager after him might be the guy, but it's going to take him 3 years. I knew it then. As you can see from that quote. I mean, absolute disaster for Man United. And anyone who said that they had a real chance. I think, look, in terms of the expectations of how they would get on, yeah, legitimate. But how it played out, good Lord, what a mess. Arsenal. Oh, here you go. Arsenal fans, you think people go, Jim's got an agenda against Arsenal. No. I backed Arsenal from the start. And I was only one off on this one. I said they finished 6th. They actually finished 5th in the end. And I said this, no European football. That means less injuries, less workload. I mean, this is true. Imagine the injuries they would have had if they'd been in the Europa League or the Champions League. And more time for Arteta to get that team going. Come on. Do you know what? I'm pleased that I foresaw that. You know, in terms of these things and learnings from previous seasons and to the new seasons, that is worth remembering. The lack of European football for certain teams will help them. I guess the difference next year is that those big teams don't have that problem. It'll be interesting to see if West Ham can deal with it once again going into the new season. But Arsenal now, that's their new challenge, isn't it? It's like, can they retain momentum without running on fumes? And can they get a squad that stops getting injured all the time? Tottenham. A bit harsh on Tottenham, I was. 7th place, I thought they'd finish. They actually finished 4th in the end. Congratulations to them. Pipped Arsenal to the Champions League. And I said that I liked the sensibility of Nuno. I didn't like it for long. Let's be honest. It was super boring, which is interesting because I like the guy. And I think it will be pretty useful. It wasn't useful. Noted. And the Conference League is going to be annoying for them. So annoying they couldn't be asked. I mean, it's amazing they got out of that, to be honest. And that was probably a blessing moving forward, thinking about it. You think about that, you know, less workload that we're talking about Arsenal, that's probably what massively helped Antonio Conte. And actually something no one talks about. Antonio Conte didn't have to deal with Europe. Into the top 3, and Chelsea, of course, finished 3rd. I said that they would win the whole thing, and I actually doubled down on that twice because at the start of the season, Chelsea were looking pretty strong. In this cycle of Chelsea, we've got a lot of players that haven't won the title before, so they will go that extra mile. And that hunger will be there. I looked at it from a positive point of view because I think Tuchel's in such a great place at that moment in time. And I said, in this cycle of Chelsea, they've got a lot of players that haven't won the title before, so they'll go that extra mile. Chelsea's squad is a joke, and they've got the tactical nous and the hunger and motivation. I wouldn't doubt the hunger and motivation. I think they were hurt by injuries to Chilwell and Reece James. I think that would have made life very, very different. And then that changed the whole psychology of the team as well. Maybe they're playing with that little bit more energy. And then when that happens, then you start to kind of keep going and keep moving forward. The one thing I would say about this is that the Chelsea squad was a joke, is a joke, and will probably continue to be a joke. And I think that's worth remembering because as far as Man City and Liverpool have gone, and I guess it's a nod to how well they are put together and how fantastic and fluent they are. But Chelsea need to catch up, and anything less than catching up with Liverpool and Man City, especially with the money that they spend on their squad, is kind of unacceptable. Of course, we'll see how the next few weeks pan out in terms of what changes they can make. Tuchel in the last game of the season was talking about how his hands are still tied in terms of making replacements with obviously a few players leaving, especially in the back line. So there's going to need to be some changes there. And you wonder, it'd be interesting to see how strong they are going into next season because by the end of this season, they are weaker. And actually at the start of this season, they were just so strong. Liverpool. I said Liverpool would finish 4th. I said Manchester United would finish above them. I said Chelsea would finish above them. I got all of that wrong. However, before you dive in, I can imagine you lot. Right, let's go. Smashing into the comment section going, you're a chump, Allcott. Like, we've already proven that. But listen to this. I still have concerns over their attacking depth. Wait. It's not good enough to win a title. Did you win the title? Did you win it? Got concerns over the injury record and durability of players. I don't anymore. Unless, you know, it might be an on again, off again season thing where, I mean, they still had injuries, but had that addition of depth. You know, Jota, I think, really became so prolific in the first half of the season, and then obviously just that one player in Diaz made such a change for them. That said, Liverpool could win the league if everyone stays fit. I think that's a fair appraisal of Liverpool going into the start of the season. Yes, I got the Man United shout horribly, horribly wrong. But with Liverpool, I think those were our concerns. I think they were legitimate concerns. I think they were dealt with by Jurgen Klopp and his team. But I also said, maybe I'm right. Maybe I'll double down on it. Ready? That attacking depth isn't good enough to win the title. I was right. Manchester City won the league. I said they would finish second. Maybe I was just trying to add a little bit of spice to a video. I don't know. But I think now I am of the understanding that if we're just going to be really boring and not use our guts, we will say that Man City will win every game of football that they play. And I have to give weekly predictions. So sometimes I'm going to use my gut, okay? Because I'm going to keep it spicy. Like my gut. That could be dangerous. But the big thing for Man City, I was talking about at the time, was motivation. Did they have the motivation to go? I think in Liverpool, they actually they sort of provided, and Pep Guardiola said that himself, provided that kind of energy for them to go, to be better and to be so phenomenal and to secure the amount of points that they did this season. I said it came down to the Kane transfer. I felt like they needed that transfer to get themselves over the line. We now know that it's utter nonsense, and I guess what's even more frightening is that as good as they are, they've now sort of traded in a Kane for a Haaland. So next season they're going to be even more frightening. I thought Chelsea might have the energy over them, and I thought they might be able to create that momentum. Weren't able to do it. Man City, with the way that they play, that utter dominance, it's just water torture in the Premier League, and that's why they are so, so good. And I will probably go with Man City unless the gut takes over. Guys, let me know how you feel about my predictions. Can you find any understanding? Can you make me feel a little bit better about myself after that absolute mess? If you can, get involved in the comments. And if you are that kind of person, then you're my kind of person, okay? So hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. I'll see you in the next one.